When you are up on stage with a bunch of other drag queens, you really have to fight for the spotlight. So, DragDagulan!
Hey Pepsters, how's your day going? My name is Nika and your host for today's episode. Today's episode of Pep Spotlight. So napapalawan ako ng English ngayon, no? Kasi we have a legendary drag queen up in here. Meron pala akong co-host today. Sarah, please introduce yourself.
Hey, good afternoon, Pepsters. Sarah Jessica here. Nice to see you again.
Ayan. So hindi ko na patagalin yung introduction. Please welcome Manila Luzon.
Hey,
Hi, mabuhay! Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for speaking in English on my behalf, for my sake.
No.
That is okay, no? We have to,
I thought that if I named myself after Manila here in the Philippines, that it would magically gain the ability to speak in Tagalog. However, that's not the case.
Yeah, but you've got to learn. You still have a long way to go, but we are really rooting for you to learn the language ASAP.
I am sure. Yes, for sure. I'm trying so hard. My mother, she never taught me. My mother was born here in Manila, but she didn't teach me. And she didn't realize that she was messing with my career as a drag queen host of the Philippines' first reality drag pageant.
That is okay. We're sure you'll learn that in no time. But let's start the interview na, Sarah. No? Our first question, siguro, eto. It's been a month since you arrived in the Philippines. How's your experience so far?
It's been wonderful. I'm so excited. After a year and a half or more being in quarantine, it's so nice to be able to get out of my house and come to the Philippines. Yes, I have been enjoying the Philippines limitedly, of course, but getting to eat a lot. Thank God I have a corset to wear.
Yeah. So you really enjoyed the part of, eating and trying all the Filipino foods, right?
Of course. Yes, the Philippines has the best food. Even food that's not Filipino is better here in the Philippines. I don't know what it is.
Filipinos love eating, no?
We sure do.
Yeah.
So is this the longest time you've stayed in the country?
Yeah, I believe so, but it's also, limiting because of the restrictions and things. Also, I've been working mostly, so I am very limited into like what I can do. But I love to work. I am a drag queen. Work. That's all we do. It's work, honey.
Yeah. So we've been talking about your experiences in Philippines so far. So I would like to know though, how's the experience with Cornerstone so far?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a dream. Everyone here at Cornerstone has been treating me so wonderfully. I am so honored that they asked me to be a part of their agency. They have some of the most popular Filipino celebrities that they represent, and now I am one of them. And I'm here at the office in Cornerstone. I get to see my face all up there with all these beautiful Filipino actresses and Filipino actors, and I should have worn more makeup when I took that picture because I'm not used to being the ugly one in the group.
So let's talk about DragDagulan Philippines now. So congratulations on becoming the host of the first ever drag competition in the country. But can you tell us how this partnership happened? What was your reaction when Cornerstone and Project 8 and WeTV took you on board?
I was so excited when they presented the opportunity to me. I had just been signed to Cornerstone, and they already had all these projects that they were presenting to me, and this one was the most exciting because it's something that's never been done out here in the Philippines, and the Philippines has some of the best drag in the whole world from my experience. I'm blown away by the dedication and the talent and the creativity of the drag scene out here in the Philippines. And so I'm excited to create a show that puts a spotlight on the drag scene here. And, you know, a lot of Filipinos have no idea that there are so many talented performers and entertainers right in their backyard. So I'm excited that we're going to introduce the art of drag to the Filipino audience.
Yeah, we are also excited to see that.
No, me too.
You previously mentioned that in an interview around June, I think, with Cornerstone too, that you were a little bit worried about your Filipino or your how you speak in Tagalog, since it will be your first time hosting a Filipino show. So how's your skills now? Have you brushed up with your Tagalog?
I've been, well, ever since I got the gig, I got the job, I have been taking my Tagalog lessons. I have been enjoying learning about the language and how it all works. I'm a bad student though. My memory is terrible with my vocabulary words. So it's a struggle for me, but I'm always up for the challenge. Luckily, most people here can speak and understand English, so, you know, I get by.
They say Tagalog is very hard to understand, to learn, but Filipino gay lingo is on another level. Filipinos can get really creative with words. And syempre with DragDagulan Philippines, that tagline is DragDagulan na. So can you tell us what this is about? What does DragDagulan mean?
Well, you know, we're drag queens, and we're here to fight for our spotlight. Like the LGBT community here in the Philippines is sometimes overlooked, sometimes shunned, and sometimes we have to fight for our place here in the world. And that's what DragDagulan is. Also, when you are up on stage with a bunch of other drag queens, you really have to fight for the spotlight. So, DragDagulan!
Since you've already mentioned the contenders and such, can you tell us the audition process?
Especially during the pandemic, all of these queens have turned to social media. So we held our auditions on TikTok queens. And TikTok has been an amazing place to partner with for our auditions. So we had hundreds, if not thousands, of submissions, which actually was really fun because we kind of gave everyone free reign in how they wanted to present themselves. And, you know, add the hashtag, you know, DragDagulan Philippines, and we'll find you. We had drag artists and performers from all over the country submitting auditions, which is really exciting. And so we were able to narrow it down, and we got a good group, I think. We even had to ask the people, the TikTokers, to vote for our final spot, which was kind of like a fun experience to see like how people were reacting to people auditioning. So yeah, we got our cast. I'm really proud of them. It's kind of amazing. I'm a little old, so TikTok is, I don't know how TikTok works. But I got to see a lot of dances. I got to see a lot of like these like transformations where they cut and they're like all of a sudden they're in full drag. It was a lot of fun to see how creative these drag artists were for the audition for the show. So it's all out there. You just have to go with the hashtags. DragDagulan PH audition, and you'll see everyone who auditioned. It was hard to narrow it down for sure.
Do you have a specific quality that you were looking for that you think a DragDagulan PH contestant should have?
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, we're in the Philippines, and we love pageants out here, so they have to be beautiful and they have to be poised and eloquent when they speak. But I also am looking for someone who's funny and witty and creative, and someone with talent. And you know, there's so many different qualities from all of the people that auditioned. I wish we could have had everyone, but we were able to narrow it down. And we also have to make sure that, you know, we have a nice range of people that we represent. because we are opening it up to all kinds of drag. Drag Den welcomes all forms of drag. We think all forms of drag are valid and they're welcome to audition to our show. Drag queens, drag kings, bio queens, AFAB queens, trans performers, you name it. I actually even saw some drag artists that like I don't even know how to categorize it here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own interpretation of what drag is, and we were really excited to showcase a range. So that was the exciting part to see different things. I have my own ideas of what drag is, just like everyone else does, and I was surprised of how many new styles of drag there were.
So far, the first hashtag callbacks queen.
Oh, yeah,
OdashA, yeah.
OdashA.
OdashA, yeah.
Hey, it's the
Yeah.
sickening spelling for the name OdashA. Well, she was fabulous. She really made an impression. We selected 7 queens on our own, but then we had a few extra queens we couldn't decide who was going to be for the 8th spot. So we left it up for the TikTokers to help decide, and whoever voted for them, you know, which is really great because it also showcases how we drag artists have to go out there and promote ourselves, because, you know, sometimes we're not given the opportunities, and so we have to create it for ourselves. We don't get the audience, so we have to make them see us and watch us. And on OdashA, she really turned it out in the votes. So left the other queens in the dust, unfortunately, but maybe they can audition for the next season.
Yeah.
That is true. There will always be the next season.
Yes, fingers crossed, legs crossed, eyes crossed.
What can we expect? Will there be celebrity judges here on the show as well? Or how is the competition?
Yes. I can't say who just quite yet, but we do have some amazing celebrities that come and help judge our pageant. It's really fun to see them, and it really means so much because it's a form of validation for our community to see strong, famous people here in the Philippines coming and being a part of this show, which is really great because, you know, when people who are less accepting of what we do as drag artists or of the LGBT communities see their favorite celebrities coming on to our show to judge and to put their input and share their experiences with our queens, it helps change people's minds, helps people sway and to be more open-minded to what we do here at Drag Den. So it's really important. So you got to check that out. I'm sure we will send a list out as, you know, as time goes on. But for now, we're keeping it
secret. Yeah. Don't spill the tea yet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wait for that. And I'm sure it's going to be pasabog, as they say.
Yeah. Pasabog.
Oh, you're gonna gag. We have amazing guests on our show, and they all have so much to gift to the queens, and I'm really appreciative of them coming on our show.
As you mentioned, drag isn't something most people understand, but what are the stereotypes or myths about drag performers that you would like to dispel?
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that drag is a true art form. You know, we are painters, we paint our face, we design our clothes, we're fashion designers, we go on stage and perform, so we are performance artists. And I think a lot of people don't understand that because they have a certain idea of what drag queens are, but they're just some, you know, perverted cross-dressers. Although some of us are perverted cross-dressers, I don't mind it. But, you know, the thing about it is that there's so much more to the story than what a lot of people know. And a lot of it just comes from the fact that people aren't exposed to it. They don't know a drag queen. They've never been to a drag show. And so that's what we're really, really excited to expose people to. We're here to tell our stories. And we're relatable on so many levels. And we are also inspiring because, hey, look, if we can make the most out of what we have, some of us are underprivileged. Some of us come from different backgrounds where we're not accepted from our own families. but we do our best to become who we are, to express ourselves freely. And I think it's an important message that anyone watching can take away from. And I think that a lot of people's perceptions will be able to change if they just take a chance and watch our show.
That is true. I love the drag community here in the Philippines. I've seen a lot of shows at Obar, Nectar. I've seen drag queens do their performances, and I love them. And Brigiding is also, I'm a big fan of Brigiding with Cornerstone as well.
Yes, she's also signed here. I love the fact that Cornerstone has, you know, they've accepted the art of drag and are willing to push us drag queens with, you know, like these celebrities like Catriona Gray, you know what I mean? So it's really exciting, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Yeah, drag is amazing. The shows out here in the Philippines are some of the best in the world, and the sense of community that these drag shows create. Like, there's a family that is a family unit that's created, like, backstage amongst all the drag queens. You know, they all support and love each other. They fight like a family. They eat together like a family. They come together as a family to, you know, welcome the community into their clubs. Of course, the pandemic happened, so we can't have that anymore. But we are the leaders of our community, and we try our best to make sure that everyone feels welcome within our space.
Another thing I'm excited here is your new song, which will be used as the official theme song of DragDagulan Philippines. Can you tell us more about it?
Here with Cornerstone, they've introduced me to the good people at Warner Music Philippines. And so I signed with them a deal, and we started recording some music. And so I'm really happy that the first track that I worked on was the theme song for DragDagulan. And it's really catchy because we played it just the one time on set. And we had even the straight cameramen whistling the tune. When the cameras off, they were already like humming it. So it's a bop. I can't wait for everyone to hear it. I recorded a music video. I asked some of the queens to be in it, well, all of the queens to be in it with me. And so it's going to be, I think it's going to be a really big hit. And I can't wait to hear it at the clubs when the clubs finally open and people can dance together. I think it's going to be one of those songs that everyone's going to love. It's very amazing. Working with Warner Music Philippines, I was able to team up with Filipino songwriters and producers. And we're really trying to get our music out at a global level, not just here in the Philippines, but, you know, the Filipinos are everywhere. We're in every country. We've spread out everywhere. So there's an audience out there, the Filipino audience out there for everyone. And we really want to make sure that at a global level that we're representing the Filipinos. You know, so it's really exciting for me to be a part of it, and I'm really appreciative of Warner Music for trusting in me and believing in me, even though I can, you know, I'm Filipino, so I love to sing, but I'm only half Filipino, only half sing. So I really appreciate them taking their chance on me. We got some good producers and some good auto tune. It'll be good. It'll be a bop.
So since you mentioned that you've signed with Warner Music, like, are we expecting more music coming from you the next? No. Yeah,
we had to fast track the DragDagulan song because we were filming it. We wanted to include it in every way possible. So that's that's where our attention was laying right now. But yeah, we have plans for more music, and I'm really excited.
I'm curious, can you reveal to our viewers what the title of the song will be?
Yeah.
Or not yet?
I wanna call it DragDagulan, since it's the DragDagulan theme song. But yeah, I think that probably for the sake of just making it easy for everyone, we're just gonna call it DragDagulan.
Yeah. For now.
Right? I think so. We haven't named it. There's a few lines in the song that really, you know, like really hit hard. And so I'm thinking like maybe we can name it anything. But I'm kind of leaning towards just calling it DragDagulan because it is the theme song. I wrote it with the show DragDagulan in mind. I mean, I wanted it to be inspiring. I wanted it to make people dance. I wanted to get people on the dance floor. I wanted people to have a catwalk, runway walk in the middle of the song. I really want people to really enjoy listening and dancing to the song together. So yeah, I think we'll call it Drag Den. That's a long answer.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. Wait, this is a curious question. Among all the songs you've released before, what's your favorite?
Before getting to work with amazing, talented people at Warner, my first song ever is my favorite, Couture, which is also co-written by a Filipino-American producer and songwriter who actually has worked with Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, Lady Gaga. So that one is the most special because that was my first track that I did. And actually, I recorded that. I released that song 10 years ago. So this is actually the 10-year anniversary of that song. And so actually I'm re-releasing a new 10-year edition, like an anniversary edition. It's available right now. So there's like a new arrangement, updated arrangement. And I have a few updated arrangements and remixes of it. And I'm also releasing music videos to go along with it. It's my favorite track everywhere I go. I always ask to perform Haute Couture. And I love that song because it's about how I feel when I transform, when I get in drag and like my feeling of that. So I'm excited because it's like a celebration of my 10 years as an independent artist. And it's celebrating the fact now that I have signed to a major record label, which I don't know of many drag queens that can say that. So I'm very honored that I'm part of the Warner Music Group now, and I'm excited to make more music. So this is like my little send-off.
Okay, so let's do our first PEP challenge. Ayan. So for this challenge, we call this Name That Movie.
Name that.
So, for our viewers, the mechanics of this challenge is we'll flash photos of celebrities on screen, and Manila will think of a title of a movie title that she would like to do with the celebrity.
Oh, I get to star in the movie with them?
Yes. If you're gonna get to star in the movie with these celebrities, what's the movie title and what will be the story? Okay. Let's do this.
Right.
First picture.
Give me a hot celebrity. Ooh.
Okay. There you go. A hot one.
This is Piolo Pascual.
Okay. He is so handsome and he is my choice for any leading. So I want to do like, okay, first of all, it's going to be called Forever Piolo, Love Manila. And it's going to be like a trilogy. Except that the third movie is going to be so long because our love scenes are going to be so long and steamy that it's going to have to be broken up into 2 parts. So it's actually going to be 4 movies. So we're going to have a 4-movie deal, him and I. We're basically just going to watch us make out for 2.5 hours. Every 2 years, we release a movie like that. Forever Paolo, Love Manila.
That is so cute.
Oh my gosh, does he have a girlfriend?
I would pay for that.
She must hate me because everywhere I go, I'm just like drooling.
Okay.
Mustache in this picture. I kind of like that. I have a mustache sometimes too, so we can twin.
Okay, next photo. Sassa Gurl.
Sassa Gurl. Ooh, I love Sassa Gurl. She is amazing. Do you follow her on TikTok?
Yes, I love her too.
Yes.
She speaks mostly in Tagalog, but so I have no idea what she's saying, but she is just so fun. She is so fun. I love Sassa Gurl. Okay. So it's going to be a movie. It's going to be like Thelma and Louise. It's going to be called Sassa and Manila. I'm really original here. We go on a crime. We go on crime sprees where we rob jewelry stores and then we just end up driving. We commit lots of crimes. Really, really sexy crimes where we get lots and lots of accessories and jewelry and shiny objects that we can look good in. It's pretty simple plot, just the two of us being badasses and
kicking some butts.
Because in real life we are law-abiding citizens, but for fictional purposes we are bad criminals. All while making TikTok videos, okay? We'll be every 5 minutes we're gonna do a TikTok dance.
I'm excited for that. I hope that will come true.
And I promise you, we won't like in Thelma and Louise, we won't drive off a cliff so that there can be a sequel.
Yeah, we need a sequel right now.
Yes. Well, hey, that could be also a four movie deal as well. Me and Sassa.
Yeah.
Okay, next picture.
Catriona Gray. Okay. This one is going to be a movie. Now, see, Catriona Gray and I, we have history. We shared the Pride cover of Mega Magazine together. You see? Now, when I got my copies, I was on the cover, and they folded the cover over, and she was on the flap. But when she got her magazines, she was on the cover, and I was folded on the cover. So our movie will be called Battle of the Cover Girls.
Ooh.
And it's going to be her and I battling for who's on the front cover and who's on the back cover of the magazine.
Wow, that's
sort of like Bride
awesome.
Wars.
Yes. A nice little rivalry between two beauty queens. She's actually really tall. I've met her, and I was surprised because I was in heels and she was in flats, and I was still like, oh, I thought you'd be short. She's nice and tall. So we'll look good together on screen. Yeah, for sure. She wins. It'll also be open-ended ending where like she thinks that she kills me, but I come back at the post-credit scene like revenge, like full on contra vida.
I like that you can think of a story in a snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just full of ideas. If I don't make it as a drag queen TV host, I'll switch to screenwriting.
Yeah.
Okay. Last two photos. So I mentioned Brigiding earlier. We have Brigiding right now.
Yes. Okay. Well, I love her. I first met Brigiding in Obar many years ago when she first started doing drag. And we became friends on Facebook. And I followed her career as she got better and better at drag. Or at least better and better at retouching her pictures in drag.
Throw in some shade.
I love her. No, she's fierce. Well, it will be, let's see. It'll be a mother and daughter story where I play the daughter because I'm younger. And she's the old mother who, it'll be called Momshi Dearest.
Momshi Dearest. Oh, Momshi.
Love it.
With Joan Crawford. So she'll be the old mom, and I'll be the young, beautiful ingenue who she hates because I'm younger and more beautiful than she is.
Love it.
Momshi.
Okay.
Momshi, I love
Momshi
it.
Dearest.
Momshi
Okay.
Dearest. Oh, you're
Dearest.
learning.
Okay, this one is not a celebrity, the last one.
Oh, wait. That's my husband.
Yes.
Aww.
Yes, it is.
Well, okay, so that's me and my husband. That's me. I'm living my Lea Salonga fantasy by being Princess Jasmine, and that's my husband wearing a towel on his head. This was taken during the quarantine, where we at home doing nothing, so we were thinking like, let's just get dressed up. Well, I guess it's the poster's right there. I guess we're gonna do the remake of Aladdin, but it will only be playing for our subscribers, and you have to be 18 or over to watch that.
Okay.
I can show
We
you
have
the
some
world.
options right here.
Mama and Daddy have to pay their bills somehow. You know what I mean? Those will be for our adult viewers. Okay,
Adults
wink, wink.
only, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you guys have been married for like 5 years. So how do you keep the relationship or the fire burning?
Yeah. The fire burning.
We're going to be married for 4 years this
4 years.
Yes, and I have no idea. I gotta say, like the fact is that we managed to not kill each other while stuck in the house together over an entire quarantine. So I guess I mean, yeah. Well, having different sleep schedules does help. I have to say, I'll let you know that. I am a drag queen, so I am awake during the nighttime because I'm like a vampire. And my husband, he wakes up really early. Like when the sun comes up, he's up. And when the sun goes down, he goes to bed. So it's been very helpful, the fact that we have
And he's very supportive.
And yes, when we're awake at the same time, he's been very supportive of everything that I do. And so he's fantastic. I am so blessed to have him in my life. He is my foundation. And I'm not talking about this foundation right here. But
yeah, the foundation.
He is always dreaming big for me so that I can focus on what I have to do. He's always dreaming up the next big dream for us. And I think it's really, I'm really lucky to have him as part of my life. And I'm so happy to come here to the Philippines where, you know, marriage equality is not quite here yet. But I want to, like, you know, showcase like the possibilities for our community. Like you can find someone that you can start a family with, you can spend the rest of your life with, and anyone would be lucky to be loved by a queen. Okay. And anyone would be lucky to be married to my husband. Okay, he's hot. So yeah, we're gonna make a remake of Aladdin. Okay, the live action version.
Live action. And R18, yeah.
Yes. So yes. Sorry, kids.
So since we've already mentioned on your few answers about the pandemic, so you've also opened up on your previous interview that you've got some, you know, challenges that you've experienced during the pandemic or the quarantine season. So how it really affected your career, or what was your greatest realization during, you know, this era or this pandemic season? Yeah.
I think the hardest part was the fact that, you know, once everyone had to stay at home, like, and, you know, large gatherings were banned. It became difficult because I'm a drag queen. I need to have an audience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was the hard part for me, was figuring out how to continue to do what I do without a live audience. And, you know, so I had to turn to a digital platform. And it was a very different experience for me because I'm used to being able to feel the energy from the audience. You know, when the audience laughs, then I know to keep telling that joke, you know. And it was very difficult as a performer. And I know I'm not the only one, like any performer that's used to having a live audience, is that exchange of energy you get wasn't there. And so you had to kind of fake it or do it when you're doing it like on a Zoom or something that's pre-recorded. So that was the big challenge. And the other challenge was to stay inspired because, you know, what makes me excited about what I do is like the creative process of, you know, figuring out like what I'm going to wear and what I'm going to perform and the show that I have. And because I'm doing it, you know, from here up on a video call, it's not as exciting for me. So it was always like, that's the challenge, to figure out how to stay inspired. But I was inspired because drag queens will always find a way to get an audience. And I was watching all these drag queens that we used to look down at and call them bedroom drag queens or living room drag queens that only do drag at their house. They were the ones that were actually the ones that were thriving during the pandemic. And so I was inspired by all these artists and drag performers that were creating their own stamp on the world because you couldn't go out to do a drag show. You had to do it here at home. So I was inspired by all those baby queens that were always just, at home playing with makeup and creating TikTok videos. And that was what was really exciting for me to do, but definitely a challenge because I am not a 16-year-old girl and TikTok is right over my head. I don't even know how it works.
How are you able to maintain like a positive outlook even after everything that's happened with all of us?
Well, allowing yourself to feel the full range of emotions and not to treat anything really like a negative emotion or a positive emotion is really good. Like if you feel like crying, go ahead and cry your eyes out. I can't even tell you how many pillowcases I ruined when I cried into a pillow and spread my makeup all over it. But it is something that it's important to do. Sometimes you just have to get those emotions out. You need to communicate it to people. And when we're home alone and we're feeling like there's no one to talk to or whatever, it's important that you take care of yourself mentally. And it was definitely a challenge. There was a really, really tough few months in there when I was like thinking like this was the end of everything. And I was able to figure it out because you just have to survive. And once you figure that out, it's great. And once you accept these emotions and feelings and realize that they are not permanent, they are just temporary and sometimes fleeting, it makes it easier. Also, the fact that everyone in the whole world was going through something similar also kind of makes it easier. You don't feel so alone anymore.
Alone, yeah. You don't feel that you're doing everything on your own. Since it's your 10th year anniversary, what would you consider is your greatest achievement?
Well, I think I'm doing it right now. Honestly, I really am so proud of the work that I'm doing here in the Philippines. In America, there are so many drag queens doing so many big things. And so I'm so excited that I get to come back here to the homeland to create opportunities for drag queens that were similar to how I was 10 years ago. Give them the opportunity to shine, give them the spotlight, give them the stage, hand them the microphone, let the world see what they can do. They're looking at me, so now I'm happy to pass it on to them. And makes me so proud. And honestly, I didn't expect this. I'm a drag queen, so I'm a selfish bitch, and I love the attention. So the fact that I'm feeling a little more giving, and it's new to me. So, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that, and it really is like showing me like how like it giving me these vibes of motherhood in a way. I'm very proud of what I'm doing here with all of the amazing support I have here at Cornerstone, with Project 8, with WeTV, that we are creating this opportunity here. This is my proudest moment that I'm doing right now, right here in the Philippines. And I'm sure that I'll have more proud moments after this, but right now, this is my proudest moment. This interview right here with you on Spotlight. Hey, Pepsters! It's right here.
Okay, so we've talked about your 10-year-long career. So I'm just curious. You've done hundreds of shows. So can you remember like what's your craziest fan experience?
Oh, well, I gotta say, like, there's a few of them. Like, the fans in Brazil are crazy. They're crazy amazing. But definitely, like, it was the first time that I was on a stage where a fan, like, jumped up on stage, bum rushed me, picked me up while I was in the middle of my song. And then security came in and dragged them off stage. And I was like, oh, well, geez, wow. And then after the show was over, I'm so used to just being able to go out into the crowd and just, have some fun. Yeah. I realized really quickly that was a bad idea. And I had to like sneak back into my dressing area because the fans were like a mob and like attacking me. Like wonderful, excited, Brazilian, beautiful, sexy zombies. Oh my God, the fans in Brazil are the best, I swear. But yeah, that was the first time I was like, ooh, this is crazy. But truly, the craziest ever fan experience I've ever experienced was when I met my husband. He was a fan. He came to one of my shows at one of the bars I was at in New York City, and he introduced himself. And then he came back the next day or the next week to come support me. And he brought more friends with him. So I was like, oh, I like him. He's bringing more support for me, more audience, which means I get paid more. Yeah. And then, we fell in love, and then I married him. So that's probably the craziest fan experience that I ever had, marrying my husband.
And the
it's a
sweetest
fan
one.
goal, yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna marry a drag queen, you better be a fan.
It's really an amazing love story.
Well, and he does look up to me because I'm 6 foot and he's only 5'6". So I'm almost
literally looking up to, yeah.
All of our pictures, he's on his tippy toes. It's all truth. There's no denying that he's shorter than I am, and that's I love that. We look great together. I look like a towering statue of a beauty queen, and he looks like my child with a mustache.
So here, my next question, you talked about how drag queens shifted to social media during the pandemic over the past year and a half. And we all know how toxic social media can be. And was there a comment that you received that really affected you or your morale that got you down?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the thing about social media is that I can have 100 comments saying how beautiful I am or how much people love me. And it just takes one comment where someone says that, ooh, her wig is dry, or ooh, she looks like she's gained weight, or ooh, she looks old. And it really affects me, But then I have to remind myself that there's 100 other people that are sending their love and their appreciation. And those are the comments that I have to focus on. Now, I know that not everyone gets the love and adoration that I might on their social medias, and they might get more of the hate than the positive. But, it's social media. You can always block someone. Block.
Yeah.
Or you don't even have to do social media. You sometimes realize that these people might say something terrible to you on social media when they're behind a computer screen or a keyboard, but they probably wouldn't do that to your face. Most people have a little bit more tact than that. So you have to remind yourself that this is not a true reflection. So, sometimes it happens. Social media can be very tricky. Someone might be joking. I know that for us drag queens, we like to read each other and joke with each other. And, we do that in the dressing room, and we do that on TV together. So people think that they can get in on the fun, but because I don't know the tone. And so a lot of tone is lost within a text or a tweet.
Yeah.
You have to follow it up with some emojis, whenever Bianca Del Rio wants to read me for filth, she always puts a little heart at the end, just to let us know she still loves us. And so sometimes you have to be aware of that and not to take it too seriously, and how to block a bitch. Okay?
Yeah, that's a
block a
keyword.
bitch. We have a lot of young Filipinos here, part of the LGBT community, who are struggling with their own sexualities or afraid to come out yet. And your story is also kind of inspiring, since it was somewhat, how do I put this? In short, what advice would you like to tell to younger LGBT members here in the Philippines, since we all know how the society here is very accepting, but we don't have that much, or we don't have the laws yet. So
yeah.
Well, society is changing, and we're so lucky. I'm so lucky to see it happen within a short amount of time, and I'm really excited for the people here in the Philippines to follow with their acceptance. I mean, Filipinos are always so welcoming and loving. So I don't think that this is going to be a problem for most of them. But I know not everyone comes from a supportive family. I know that sometimes people's religious backgrounds can play into it. But I just encourage everyone who's struggling on coming out or coming to terms with who they are to just, really learn to love yourself regardless. And you don't have to tell everyone. It's not everyone's business. You don't have to share everything about yourself. Not everyone is worthy enough to know everything about you. So it's not something you have to like wear on your t-shirt, like I'm gay. Some people don't have a choice because you choose to dress like this. But the thing that I found is when I came out and I learned, and it was a struggle for me. It took me a long time, and it took my family also a long time. But I gave them the time, and I gave myself the time to learn how to like really truly love myself, and not to hate myself for who I was truly, but to love that. And whenever someone would call me a bad name or call me something derogatory, I'm just like, well, yeah, that's who I am, and it doesn't really affect me. If it doesn't affect me, then it doesn't have power. But I understand that a lot of people are really scared about how their family will think. And so I encourage everyone to also, follow your heart, be true to who you are, express yourself how you want to. And your family will probably, if given enough time, will learn how to deal with it. And if they don't, you can start your own family. You can choose your own family.
It's a very inspiring message from Manila Luzon right here. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have with her right now.
I had so much fun. Let's make some movies together.
I hope to be part of that movie.
So, we can help you write. We can be an artist, but we can write for you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm giving the time for Manila Luzon to promote her. Promote that.
Oh yes,
Philippines,
please, yes,
and of course the
future activities.
Yeah, of course. I want to thank everyone at Cornerstone and Project 8 and WeTV for producing this show with me. Drag Den will be airing very soon in 2022, and you can watch it for free on WeTV.
Here. Thank you so much, Manila. So, guys, thank you then for joining us today here on PEP Spotlight.
Yeah.
My name is Nika and I'm with Sarah. Ayan. So you can follow us on our social media accounts. Nandyan lang yan sa baba. PEP TV lang hanapin nyo. Nakasulat na dyan. Hanapin nyo na lang yan, guys. And of course, may social media accounts din kami at Mr. Nico Tuazon on Instagram and Twitter.
And Sage, Instagram and Twitter. Yeah.
Ayan. Also, yung kay Manila Luzon, don't forget, mga social media accounts niya. Ayan, at Manila Luzon. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much. This has been PEP Spotlight.
Thank you. Salamat po.